Hello, literature lovers. Today I want to discuss I.A. Richards' famous work, Practical Criticism. It's a study of literary judgment. So, in this seminal work, Richards' thesis is that literary criticism can be objective and thereby yield a true understanding of the one and only meaning of literary work in this way that what he terms misunderstanding can be avoided. This is not, however, an essay straightforward undertaking given the numerous obstacles of a linguistic nature strewed in the way. Richard's approach is scientific and, as such, specifically inductive. In other words, he applies the so called scientific method. He starts practically by collecting and collating as much empirical data as possible. He then analyzes the results and finally he formulates a posteriori certain theoretical conclusions of a general and unifying nature that are designed to explain as much of the data in question as possible by position specific causes. To be precise, Richards distributed several poems amongst his undergraduate students at the University of Cambridge and then gathered the interpretations written, the correctness of which he then attempted to assess. After analyzing the data, Richard postponed a theory designed to explain the results and proposed a remedy designed to cure literary criticism of the misunderstanding that plague the reading process. He concluded, as we shall see, that misunderstanding is due to a simple confusion between four different levels, aspects, or kinds of meaning, and as to which of these levels should predominate in a given genre of discourse. Of course, not withstanding the inductive approach which he ostensibly applies, it is arguable that Richards is not without his presumptions from this perspective. One might contend that Richards' approach is in fact reductive in nature, that is, he starts out with certain general priori presumptions concerning the nature of literary interpretation, from which he infers particular conclusions that merely confirm his pre-given assumptions. To be precise, the main assumption informing his work here and elsewhere is that works have a single correct meaning which it is possible to objectively grasp via a method of reading that is scientifically determinable. When this process goes awry, misunderstanding is the result. Interpretations are consequently either true or false. Richard, in short, assumes that he knows the true meaning of the poem which he distributes. He accordingly seems through his students' interpretation which he agrees correct and those with which he does not incorrect. He seemingly never considers the possibility that interpretation may be deemed valid on the basis of senses. So we can conclude in this particular edition that the practical criticism is, as later on theory was discussed, that it's part of someone's assumption, you know. Now comes the real analysis, talking about first the four kinds of meaning. Whenever we read, we can have different meaning, analysis, and conclusion, and which is not so bad as such, and can have a different perspective of our own. And I agree with Richards, and that the meaning can be different, interpretation can be different. You cannot practically suggest that. And from there only the theories have started. If you start studying these theories, all of it started with this same word. There are other meanings on a chapter including the figurative language and sense, and there are recommendations related to it, and you can see as here. So, all in all, Richards is on the view that listeners and readers misunderstand the meaning of a particular statement when they wrongly emphasize that kind of meaning which is not meant to be predominant in the genre of discourse. From this perspective, although misunderstanding is always a possibility, it can be avoided. Research students William Emerson continued this line of research in his own equal famous book, Seven Types of Ambiguity, in which he explores the various ambiguities found especially in the language of poetry, which contribute to misunderstanding. So, we can conclude that understanding of particular text statement, the statement can be called pseudo statement also. Thanks for being part of it. Thank you.